Reviewing the Devil May Cry anime, but I have a history final on the 2nd of June and I've never played Devil May Cry. As I'm sure you know, the Devil May Cry anime has a lot of mixed opinions, so let's start from the top. Devil May Queef is a story based on the fanfiction, written by a salty Italian poet starring Dentist and his brother Virgin. How the fuck does Maxor do it? Devil May Cry is a video game turned manga turned anime turned video game turned anime. The only one which people seem to have a problem with is the Netflix version. The Netflix anime is headed by Adi Shankar. You can tell because he plastered his name all over the credits. A previous work with the involvement of Adi Shankar would be Castlevania, and from what I remember was that one of the coolest fight scenes I've ever witnessed was sandwiched between sexual assault. On a totally unrelated note, you know I watched Castlevania with my mom? Yeah, that was, fun times. In the Netflix Devil May Cry, Makai, the Netherworld, is a not-so-subtle allegory for the wars in the Middle East.
Leon Trotsky is known for being the chief of propaganda in the Soviet Union. A good example of this can be seen in the book Animal Farm by George Orwell. That part isn't on the test. An example of what Trotsky was able to accomplish was the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, which, while it damaged Russia in the short term, was able to get them out of World War I, which helped them win back the support of the people. Though it can be argued that during the Civil War it was primarily Lenin's leadership which led to the Red success.
There's nothing wrong with critiquing the wars in the Middle East. I feel like I should have mentioned that sooner. Killing people is bad, etc, etc, but was hijacking Devil May Cry the best way to do it? Like, I know The Boys is a good example of critiquing almost the same things Adi Shankar tries to, but clearly one is more beloved than the other. And remember, South Park also did that tirade against Trump, and people didn't like it. So I'm not sure how to feel. But I will say for Devil May Cry, it's almost too on the nose, especially in the first season. In the second season, it's not as prevalent. Anyway, Devil May Cry Season 1. The villain was really cool, even though people say it's just Adi Shankar in a bunny suit. I don't know what more you want from me, the vibe was cool. But the problem with Season 1 is the inconsistency, which a lot of people have pointed out already. Main one being the diner scene showing off Dante's speed feat, but then he's constantly captured by Lady. Which is a lame excuse to give Lady more screen time in such a forceful manner. A lot of people agree that as good as normal Devil May Cry Lady is, the anime version is kind of a shell. A shell that did nothing but hurl swear words every time she was on screen. How many times did Lady swear in Season 1? Let me check. 44! To be fair, I was expecting more. This was such a problem that they even addressed it in Season 2. And thankfully they even toned it down. And while watching Season 2, I was keeping count, but I lost track. But it was like more than 20, but like less than 30, so almost half. Anyway, it's a weird thing to have shoved down your throat.
War communism is an economic policy during the Russian Civil War, the crux of it being grain requisition. Soldiers would come and take grain from peasants to feed the army during the Civil War. It was definitely an unpopular policy, but it managed to help them win the war, amongst several other factors such as positioning and whatnot. After the Civil War, to win back support lost from unpopular policies such as war communism, the new economic policy was introduced, which removed grain requisition and reintroduced private trade.
Okay, I think this is the part of the script where I'm watching Manga Comments videos to see if there's anything I missed. Give me a sec. Wow, he really did say he was the White Rabbit. Okay, conclusion. I'm not fit to talk about this topic at all, but I really like this video as a concept, so let's keep going. Going back to the villains, while I did like the White Rabbit, I think Arius in Season 2, and also the whole President and Vice President subplot was kinda... shit, I don't know. Like, from Season 1 and 2, I understand what the President and Vice President were supposed to represent. Like, Christian America, wars in the Middle East, fear-mongering and whatnot. But because of how on the nose it was, it felt kind of shallow. They didn't feel like characters, they felt like scarecrows or cardboard cutouts. While the show revolves around their actions, they didn't feel present in the moment. The thing is, the show revolves around their actions. Baines is a trigger for many of the events in Devil May Cry. Well, the anime. The actions of Baines causing most of these events to take place in the show, with Hopper being just a Trump-adjacent yada yada. The thing about Baines is he's kind of a broken record. He keeps just repeating the same thing about Christianity over and over again, and makes his death kind of shallow. You don't really feel anything. On the other end of the spectrum, Arius is stupid. There is a broadcast showing someone with compromising information. He lets it play until he says something compromising. The thing with Arius is that he's supposed to be really old, but it keeps flip-flopping between him being not old enough or being too old. You'd think for someone who's been reincarnated several times that he would have this kind of knowledge, and I'm not sure if it's a character flaw or if he's just... I did have an issue with the plan to bring back Argus X. Also, look at what they took from us. So the plan was to get both Dante and Virgil's blood to fuel Argus X to kill Mundus. The plan was to go to hell with this strength and kill Mundus. I just feel like for someone who's lived for so long, he didn't really think it through. Like, surely in that time, you could have made the plan foolproof. Like, you could have accounted for so much more, but if you go to hell where Mundus is, Mundus knows where you are, and he's just gonna jump you there and then. Now, I know the plan was interrupted because of Dante and Virgil, but even with that, could they have stood toe-to-toe with Mundus? And makes you think they probably could, because then Virgil fights Mundus at the end of the anime, so... I don't know, I think watching it, I had an issue with it, but I didn't really think about it, so that might be on me. They did Arius good in the anime, though, compared to the video game. I was looking at footage while I was recording this, and yikes, fucking shoot me.
I will become an all-powerful immortal!
But yeah, overall, it's better than nothing. Nothing revolutionary.
The three major revolutions during the Russian Revolution was the 1905 Revolution and the February and October 1917 revolutions. There are many factors which go into considering which was the most significant for these revolutions. It can be argued that the trigger factor for the 1905 Revolution was Bloody Sunday, a peaceful protest led by Father Gapon which ended in innocents being shot by the Tsar's royal guards. The failure to win the war against Japan, the war which bottlenecked resources and led to unrest. The causes for the first 1917 revolution can be contributed to Rasputin, war fatigue, resource bottlenecks stemming from the lack of infrastructure, and the second can stem from the Kornilov affair, the weakness of the provisional government and the dual power system, and Lenin's return with the April Thesis.
Removing any beef you have with Adi Shankar, or the way Devil May Cry was portrayed in the Netflix adaptation, you have to agree a lot of care was taken everywhere else. Like, if this was its own standalone show, it's good for what it is. You know, outside of the Adiverse. Or is it only in the Adiverse? I'm not sure. The fights are amazing and fun to watch. I like the choreography. It's all really well put together. And combined with the music choice, are fun to watch, even if people say they don't fit the Devil May Cry vibe. The voice acting is great. I did see some online discourse about the voice of Virgil not doing him justice, but I think Megumi Fushiguro did a great job. Hell, across the board, you can have complaints about the writing all you want, but the delivery was good. Fun fact, the Medaglia are based off the Arcana, with Arius supposedly being based off the Magician Arcana.
Rasputin was the holy advisor for the Tsar and Tsarina and was considered to be a holy healer. His role with the fall of the Romanovs stemmed from his lack of legitimacy. They let this mystical hobo into the royal courts and treat his words like gospel. This led to a lack of trust in the Russian government and the Tsar in itself, which led to the abdication of the Tsar.
Okay, no, that's the last one. Alright, that was the last one. I'm not going to finish it because I'm running out of time. Will I revisit this? I don't know. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.